Welcome back. I told you I was coming back for part two of breaking down wisdom for young women. And so I have some more suggestions for you ladies. And I'm hoping you soaking it in. I'm hoping you writing it down. I'm hoping that you are sharing this with young women that you know that just kind of need a little stability and maybe even a little guidance. And so that's what I want to do. But first, before I go on, I like to add to your spiritual garden. And so I am going to give you a scripture that maybe you can write it down if you want to reflect on it later. I just think that's very important. By this time, you all know how I am. So I want to add this to your spiritual garden. And I am going to go with James, the first chapter, in verses 19 and 20. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to become angry. Because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. And so I really want to get that to you. I think that we all get angry. We all get angry. We all speak out of turn. We all do that. But I think sometimes when I read scriptures like this, it kind of helps put me back in place. It reminds me. And then as I move forward in the world, I'm a little bit more conscious of that. And so I want to be slow to be angry. I don't want to be going from 1 to 10. These people will have you going crazy. You going from 1 to 10 because someone else what someone said. And you know what it brings to mind? Some of my students. If somebody could say anything to them, as soon as they hear that, they are just off the charts. They are just upset. They want to fight. And unfortunately, we see this in some adults too. So I like that scripture. Be slow to speak. That means let's listen. Let's listen a little bit. And of course, I think we all can use some better listening skills. We can. We listen to music and we know those the songs and everything, but do we really listen to each other? And I think that's just really important. So let's move on. Let's move on into some things that I want to share with you that I feel that is useful for young women. And so we already went through the part one. If you did not see that, I encourage you to go back to part one and listen to that. And this is my continuation. Okay. So let's move on with that. Um, I'm going to say this, and I have a twofold with this, okay? Don't lead with sex. Don't lead with your sexuality, okay? Now, I believe that we all have a natural sexuality. We do. I mean, as women, but when you lead with sex, I believe you're starting to make yourself more of an object to men. And so a lot of times I see a lot of young women, they lead with sex because they'll have their breast out, extremely out. It's okay, do a little peekaboo. I think I got a little peekaboo here. Just a little bit, but I would say, your pants, the really tight things. And yeah, you are going to get that attraction. Men are going to look at you and they're going to like that. And they, oh man, did you see her body? Did you see how she looked? But you want to be taken seriously. And you're more than just your body. You're more than that. You're intelligent. You're smart. Okay, you're worthy, you're beautiful, you have a lot going on with you other than your body. And so to get that attention only because of the way you look, it's kind of misleading, ladies, because what is happening is, yeah, you were showing your body, your beautiful body that God gave you. I get it, your beautiful body, and so that attracted him. And so I believe that he's thinking sexually. He's thinking sexually, you know, and I'm gonna conquer that. And I'm just gonna be for real with you. I'm gonna conquer that. So you're thinking, wow, he likes me. Look how I'm looking. He thinks I'm beautiful. But in his mind, that was the first thing. That's what he's really attracted to. Then that's what he wants. And so that I think what happens with that is when you do give in and have sex with him, and then he doesn't call anymore. And so we hear that a lot. He didn't even call me. I thought we were cool. I thought we were vibing together. Either that, or he just wants you for his sexual pleasure. He wants you for his sexual pleasure. And we don't want that. You're worth more than that. So why not? Don't lead with sex. You don't lead with that, because that's what you're going to get. A man who going to want sex from you. He's not taking you seriously. Okay? So think about that. Don't lead with sex. And you know what? That does not only that's not only for the way you dress. That's also for the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. Um, you're really suggestive in how you approach someone, or you have this kind of loose behavior, and so really think about that, ladies, because you're going to be attracting men who really just want to have sex with you. And I know you want something meaningful. You want someone who loves you and cares about you, someone who values you, who you are as a woman, okay? And really pay attention to your intellect and your creativity and all of that. So let's start off not leading with that, not leading with sex. So how do we do that? Well, you have jeans, and my jeans be a little snug too, and that's okay. But if you do it in a classy way, I'm going to put something on my website to just kind of guide, and you can kind of see maybe different ways where you can put clothes together, so it won't be so suggestive. And it's just like, come have sex with me. You don't want to walk around like that. You don't want to have that sign, that neon sign above your head. Yeah, they gonna love you. Oh, they gonna be flocking. They want your number, but is it for the right reason? And you don't want that reason, because you're probably gonna look at it more seriously, and they're not. So think about that. Um, don't lead with sex, and that is in your behavior, your suggestive behavior. And you know what? Bottom line is, I really do believe that men look at women who have some type of self-respect and class. And even if you're 19, 20, 25, you can have class, and you could still dress, kind of the way you want, but you could do it in a classy way. And so, yeah, let's start thinking about that. Um, Another thing I want to bring up, and um, this is what I've been seeing a lot of: the bonnets and the pajamas going to the store. Now, I'm not one to dress up when I go to the store, but you better believe when I leave out the house, I'm going to have, even if I have a jogging suit and I have a jogging jacket on, and my hair is going to be looking neat, and maybe no makeup. And remember, we talked about that. We don't want to rely on makeup all the time, but I'm not just going out the house any kind of way. And I just think it's just very, I get it. Pajama bottoms are comfortable. I get it. Those house shoes are comfortable. I get it. You still trying to keep your hair intact. I would even say a scarf that's tied around your head nicely, other than a bonnet. I just think that that's just totally, I don't know. I don't even know how to label it. But that is my personal opinion on that. The bonnets and pajama pants and the house shoes in the store. I just think that when you leave the house, I think that you should be presentable. And I don't think pajama pants leaving out the house is presentable. I don't want my house shoes out the house. I am walking on concrete. I'm walking on surfaces that a lot of people walked on. And so now I'm attracting all of that back in my house with my house shoes. My house shoes belong in the house. The sole of my house shoes should be tracked in my house only. Okay. And then as far as a bonnet, I don't know. I just don't like it. I remember telling my daughters before about bonnets and stuff. You don't think about it. I know you don't. I'm just running to the store. I'm just going to get milk, but I don't know. I just think it's just a very unkept way. It just appearance. Okay, so I would suggest to you, young ladies, to not wear pajama pants, house shoes, and bonnets outside your house. Find a way. Make sure every time you leave the house that you're presentable. You're representing yourself, you know, and you know what happens. Come on now. You gonna run into somebody. Sometimes we'll run into people and it's just like, oh, guess who I saw? And using up there, it could be a future employer. I mean, it could be anyone. And not to say that you're dressing for anyone else, but you want to be your best self as much as you can. And even if it's jogging suits and sweatpants or your little leggings and gym shoes, that's fine. But the bonnet, pajama pants, and the house shoes, keep those in the house. Okay? Keep them in the house. Okay? All right. All right. Next. Okay, so one thing that I've been seeing with a lot of young women is that we're being very loud. And it's loud. You know what? I remember, when I was in my 20s and we're laughing and we're talking, but I think with that loudness, it's kind of like an aggression that's not very attractive, not for a young lady. So I would say you don't have to be loud to be heard. You don't have to be loud. Have you ever heard of sometimes the person who's talking quiet will calm everybody else in the room down because everybody want to hear what they have to say. So think about that. You don't have to be loud. You can explain yourself, you can talk, you can have fun, but you don't have to be overly loud. And I think that sometimes it's unconscious. I get it because it's almost like, you're not really doing it intentionally, but let's be mindful of that for our young ladies. You don't have to do that to call attention to yourself. You want to call attention to yourself when it's something that is positive, so that's what you want to do, not just being loud and talking loud. So think about that. And then and to add on to that, I'm going to say watch your mouth. Now, I know that a lot of women our age, or my age, I'm sorry, our age, my age, we do the cursing. And I've heard women call each other cow and bitches. Come here, bitch, you my bitch. And they said things like that. I um I just don't agree with that. And what? Once again, I might be old school, but I'm not gonna call my best friend a bitch, and I'm not gonna call her a cow. But I think sometimes that communication, you have that with each other. My thing is this: if you freely using the word bitch, and one if your man calls you a bitch, and maybe you're okay with that, come here bitch, okay, but it's going to get to a point where you're not going to be want to be called that. And that's when you're gonna be like, okay, I'm done. I don't like why you calling me that. And he's gonna be like, well, I've been calling you that, and you've been okay with it. And now you all of a sudden you got some feelings about it. Okay, so I understand sometimes it's in play, but I think we need to watch our words and what we say to each other, and how we address one another. And we could still have fun, ladies. You're young. You could still have fun without throwing around words like that. And those words they're not appealing words for a woman. And so we can't glorify the word. We know what that's a female dog. We know that, but we know what that whole word means. We do. So why even throw that word around at all? I look, baby, you're not calling me that, and I'm not calling anybody else that. Not for fun. Not even for fun. The same thing as a whore, slut, those things like that. Did you calling someone like that? I mean, your friend, okay? I think we need to think about the words that we use. And maybe I'm being a little old fashioned, but that's why I'm coming to you today to give you my wisdom and what I think. Um, Watch your words, watch what you say, be intentional of the words that come out of your mouth. Also, don't forget you attract certain things with the words that you say. And so, if you are a negative person, and if you always talking about negative things and bringing people down and degrading people, those words come back to haunt you. They come back in your life some kind of way. So be mindful of the words that you say. It's just very important. I'm telling you, ladies, believe me when I say that. Those words that you're saying, you want to speak words of peace and joy and love as much as you can. We all slip up. Come on, I do too. We all slip up sometime. But if we are intentional about words that we say, it's certain things I'm not saying that. I don't want that to come back to me. I don't want that to be for some kind of way that I am not that I would see that manifest in my life. How about that? So yeah, think about that. Watch what you say. Speak words, positive words. Speak words of upliftment. Speak words of uh, positivity. Okay, so think about that. Okay, next, we're gonna do the eat healthy, and I think I mentioned that in part one about eating healthy and exercising. So I think I did. No, maybe I didn't. Um, Eating healthy. Now, if I'm talking to some of my 20, 25, even 30-year olds, sometimes we don't think about, like, hey, I'm young. I'm not old. I'm young. I'm feeling good. Okay. But however you take care of your body now is going to be how you're going to be able to, how your body is going to take care of you in the end. So think about that. However, that's going to be. Um, if you're eating a lot of sweets, if you're eating a lot of chips, if you're eating a lot of meat, and I'm going to say it now, a lot of meat, beef and pork, it takes a long time for that to digest in your system. You know, um, Whatever you're eating and however your lifestyle is, are you going to sleep? Are you sleeping a good amount of time? Are you drinking water? Those things are important. You're not too young. Diabetes is rampant in our community. High blood pressure is rampant in our community. And so, you don't want to be faced with the repercussions of how you took care of yourself when you were young. And so when you get older, you're going to be ill. And I already told you, I went to that waiting room and I saw these people that were ill. And since I really don't have to go to the doctor a lot, that was kind of like a wake up call. So we got to take care of ourselves. Get enough sleep, drink a lot of water, don't overconsume alcohol, drugs, things like that. You're going to feel that. It is going to affect your body in some kind of way. So think about that. It's very important. Your health means everything. I'm telling you, ladies, your health is going to be more than that Gucci bag, more than any of that. Your health is going to be more than that man. All right? I get it. But it is. You're going to be like, I just want to be healthy. Because you don't want to be going around ill, having to be a slave to these medications. You don't want to do that. So think about it now. Just be a little conscious of that. Try to get some exercise in. You already got the bodies, right? 20-year-olds? You got it. Okay. So try to just take care of yourself, eat right, sleep, um, think right, okay, and exercise. Okay. Moving right along. Now, this is big because I don't know what age you are, I'm hoping you from like 20 to maybe 35. I'm thinking that decide on your purpose. That is very liberating for you to know why are you here and what are your gifts. You have some time now to try to discover that. So you're going to be like dabbing in here and dabbing into that, whatever it is that you like to do. And like I've heard before, is there something that you like to do that you don't mind not getting paid for? And I know we all want to get paid. Don't get me wrong. But it's something that you would just love to do. That will be your passion. That will be your purpose. And you could kind of twist and conform that into maybe a career, and something that could be lucrative for you. So think about that. Decide on your purpose and work your purpose. It's very important. You do not want to go through life just maybe going from job to job. You don't want to do that. You want to be purposeful. You want to be you want to have a job or a career that's something that you enjoy and that you want to share your gifts. So yeah, think about that. You want to be work in your purpose. That is going to be so fulfilling for you. I promise you. It's going to be so fulfilling. So think about that. Um all right. This one, okay, I do have down pray, and your prayer your prayer time, it should be first in the morning. Ladies, if you could just adopt that type of a practice and routine to have that where you're praying in the morning, that will be beautiful. That will You will see how you will have that armor on you, that for the day you already consulted God, you already prayed to God, you already centered yourself, and you're gonna see how that is, how that's going to work for you during the day. It's going to give you that armor. You're going to be reminded that God's got you, that God's there to protect you. You're going to be reminded of all of that. So think about that. Praying in the morning, reading devotions, get yourself equipped for the day, because we don't know what's gonna be in store for us for the day. We don't know. So go ahead and have that as a routine. Remember, we want to be spiritually grounded, and so that's part of that. I promise you, you're gonna see that. You're going to see how it will work in your life, and it's not going to do nothing but good in your life. I promise you. Okay, develop that routine. Um, Now, this one is kind of, and this is something that I guess I'm kind of working on a little bit, but it's being vulnerable. I know a lot of times in relationships we put barriers up. We're trying to keep ourselves safe emotionally when we meet someone. But if we just learn to be vulnerable, life is risk. And so be your true self no matter what. Yeah, it might not work out, but at least you put all your all in it. And yeah, the everything is not going to work out, but there's lessons in it. So think about that. Be vulnerable, be yourself. Be willing to love and open yourself up to love. And listen for those signs. Even if you're vulnerable, listen for those signs. That tuition is telling you this is not right. It's something going on here, something that's not right with this person. And maybe I need to step back a little bit. But don't have a wall up when it comes to love. Make sure that you can love freely. It doesn't mean sex. It just means to be able to love someone and be yourself around that person. Okay? So think about that. Um, know your worth. Ladies, I think, and we've been hearing that here and there everywhere. Know your worth, know your worth, know your worth. You are worthy. You are worthy to be loved. You are worthy to be cared for, no matter what no one told you. No one. It doesn't matter who. You are worthy. And so if you have to tell yourself that 100 times, you do that. You are worthy. This way, you won't let anybody control you. You won't let anybody think that without them, you're nothing. You won't allow anyone to decide how you feel about yourself. And I think as women, we're fought for that. We do that a lot. If this guy goes with another woman, if he cheats, we feel like it's something wrong with us, and that somehow we just don't, we miss the mark. And that's not always the case. A lot of times it's him. He just wanna fool around. He just wanna do that. So it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. So know your worth. How do you know your worth? I'm gonna tell you. You're gonna pray. You're going to ask God, show me how to be the best me I can be. How do I do that, Lord? You're going to ask the Lord for that. You're going to work in your purpose. You're going to work in your purpose, whatever it is fulfilling for you. Okay? And you're going to take care of yourself, period. You're going to take care of yourself. You're going to watch your words. Okay? You're going to watch what you say and what you do. So there's a lot of layers to that. So, yeah, go ahead and know your worth. And if you have to, do whatever you can to remind yourself that you are worthy, that you are worthy. You are. And you need to know that in the gut. I don't care. No makeup, no hair. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how big or small you are. You are worthy. God made you, and there's no one like you. No one. You are exceptional and you are unique. And I want you to embrace that. Okay. I'm going to tell you this. There has been different views about tithing, but I think tithing is so, so, so important. Tithing is important because I don't know. I'm just seeing this car outside my window. Um, I hope that's, yeah. But um, tithing 10%, you could do it in a charity. You can give to a charity. You could give to a church that you know that is community minded, that's helping people. It works. There's no doubt that it works. It works. Tithe 10%. You will get that. You're not missing any money. It will come pressed down, shaken together, running over. It doesn't seem like it, but if you trust God, you will see that it does. 10% of what you earn. Go ahead, give to a charity, give to a church. If you're part of a church that is doing something for the congregation, they're doing food pantries, they're helping in the community, they're doing all these different things. So go ahead and go ahead and practice tithing. It is a spiritually minded concept. If you are not there spiritually, I would just suggest you pray about it, get in your scripture, and so you could be really feel that. You don't want to just do it to get money. You want to do it so that you're giving out of your heart. You're giving because you want to. And so think about that. Yeah, that's one that you have to grow to really, really believe that. And so that's part of that spiritually grounded part. Okay. So think about that. Um, Stay connected to your family. Stay connected with your family. Your family is important. And we know there's dysfunction everywhere. Some people's families might be dysfunctional, but contact your family. Contact your cousins and your aunties and your grandmothers. And grandmothers, they love to hear from you, not just from Christmas. Not just for when your birthday, when you want some money. So contact them. Say hi, if you haven't heard from them in a while. So yeah, stay connected with family. This is just my advice. This is my wisdom. Okay. Another thing, I think we kind of got out of reading. And so we want to be well rounded women. And with well rounded women, we want to work with our reading, artwork, and reading, artwork, and music. And so those are three things that you want to be well rounded in. And so read personal development books. If you have some other books, another genre that you really like, how about having that? Read, read. And one thing about reading, it does help you speak better. When you read, it gives you insightful information about certain things. You might want to just read for pure enjoyment, or you might say, oh, I'm going to get a book that's working on that. I want to work on some things. And so go ahead and read a book. Read. That's big. Read. Okay, moving right along. Learn to cook. Ladies, I know guys say it all the time. She don't cook, she don't cook. This is not only for them. So we're not cooking just for a man. We're not learning to cook just to have a man. We're cooking so we could be self-sufficient, so that we won't be eating out every day. And I'm telling you, when you eat out every day, it really starts to not taste good. You be wanting a home cooked meal, and you want to make yourself a home cooked meal. You want to be able to eat something that you done made and cooked up. And so learn how to cook. You could start small. Breakfasts are basically easy. And then you could go into, making different types of chicken and side dishes. They got cookbooks everywhere. No matter how young you are, learn how to cook. Be self-sufficient. And like I said, your motivation isn't just to cook for a man. Your motivation is, I want to cook so I can learn to be self-sufficient, that I can cook for myself. And then maybe when I find that significant other, that I can share that with them. I can cook for them too. Cooking for someone is a labor of love. I believe it's a labor of love. And so, yeah, think about that. I think last but not least, learn how to do things alone. I know that we want our friends with us all the time and we want people with us all the time, but we have to learn how to be alone sometimes. We have to learn how to be alone. So think about that. What can I do? Do I have to have somebody with me all the time and I can't do anything? Okay? Learn how to be independent in some ways. Learn how to be independent. And so think about that. Think about that. So that is it. I don't think it's gonna be a part three unless I could come up with another list. So I'm just thank you for joining me today. I hope what I said, and some of it resonated with you, ladies. I really want the best for you. I've been there and done that, so I'm just passing on the baton. And so I just thank you for joining me today. And I am going to just pray for you. And this is just a prayer coming from me, a prayer that I created this time. I am wishing you just for God's grace just to shine all over you, for God's favor to follow you everywhere you go. I am praying that you have peace and that God will provide for you with all your needs. So I am just thanking you for joining me today, and may God bless you. And I will be talking to you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and then you can also go to my website www.beautifullyseasonuyu.com. So go and check it out. I have a lot of articles there that you might like, and please put a comment below if you found any of these suggestions useful. Okay, take care, and I love you. Bye bye.